Hello everyone, welcome to Rainbow Bridge Alumni Experience Sharing Series. Today I'm interviewing an outstanding alumni from University of Toronto, Milica to share with us her unique experience. Welcome to watch. Okay, so before I start asking you any questions, which program did you take?
Yeah, so I went to U of T from 2008 until 2012, and I majored in English and did a double minor in film and French.
My first question is it difficult to pursue a double major?
It's honestly a big workload. I think, however, like I was in the IB program in high school, so I already came with this sort of set of like a certain work and study ethic. So the workload wasn't something that I didn't necessarily expect. I think the difference is that once you go into university, it's very one stream. So like you're kind of focusing on, like, let's say you're doing sciences, you're just focusing on sciences, as opposed to in high school, you're kind of getting a breadth of everything. So that was one thing that I would say was, in terms of doing like either one major or a double major, the difficulty was trying to focus on solely two or three subjects.
So how was your overall experience with your program and with U of T?
So I did enjoy my program. I think it's kind of funny because initially when I was looking at which universities I was going to apply to in the IB program, I was in the health sciences stream. So then I made a complete 180, and it was partially because I didn't enjoy physics and I wasn't very good at chemistry, that I just decided, oh, like I really like English, so maybe that's something that I can choose. And thankfully my parents supported that, especially being like an immigrant. That's not something that your parents would generally support.
No.
So being in the humanities was, I think, very different, but I also had in mind that, you know, I might go into teaching. So that was something where doing an English major seemed like it would be helpful. I did overall enjoy the program. I think that the school is very academic based. It really depends what, you know, the student might want to do in their career. So if you already have certain plans of what you want your future to be, U of T is definitely a school that is like very academic based. For somebody, you know, like I ended up, I've been working in film and television for over 8 years now, and going to U of T doesn't necessarily help me. Again, it just depends what types of jobs and what industry you're looking to get into. Something that would have been more helpful for me is probably going to a more skill-based university, so somewhere like Ryerson or York University, just because, you know, and I say this all the time, like while I can tell you a lot about like film history and
a lot of theories.
Yeah, like very theory heavy. It's interesting, but you know, in practical work settings, that might not be as helpful.
Very interesting. This is a very, very helpful advice for a lot of international students.
Mm-hmm.
Coming from my background, so in China, right, people really care about rankings. So
Yeah.
U of T is one of the top ranked Canadian institutes. So a lot of people wants to go there. But this is very helpful to let them know that if you really want to pursue your Canadian citizenship or even permanent resident, you want to have a job to be able to work here, experience the life, choosing a based university might be a better option.
Yes, I think I can also speak to that in terms of, because the last job that I had, I worked in recruiting and HR at an animation studio. We had, you know, a lot of students that would come from like Sheridan College, Mohawk College, just very like animation heavy educational backgrounds. A lot of them were international students. And so I think when you are in a very specific program, like an animation program at Sheridan College, that you have a much easier chance of getting internships and co-op positions so that you can get into the working field right away.
Yeah, that's actually my next question.
Yeah.
Was there any co-op opportunity offered at your program?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think that was the one difficulty with the program, again, because it's such a wide subject.
Mm-hmm.
It's humanities based, that it was a little bit harder for me to decide what I wanted to get into after I finished university, because you have, like, with an English degree, you can do so many things. So I didn't know which direction to go in. I really enjoyed film. I actually ended up getting an internship the day after my last exam in university. I started my first internship at, it was a worldwide short film distributor. And that was like one of my favorite jobs. And it was a great internship. But I think, again, like, the things that did help me get it is partially my educational background, because I had certain interests that were a little bit more niche.
Yeah.
But at the same time, again, like, as I said, it depends what you want your career to be. I think that if you are in something that's more like applied subjects, so things like sciences or business, then it might be you might have more opportunity in getting internships in co-op positions.
So how did your programs were measured? Was it exam-based, paper-based, or is there any other ways?
So with my program, just because it's like with English, everything is writing. I think it was usually about 40% of your grades are based on exams, so written papers, and then 50% is based on actual, like, essays that you write, and then there's like a certain percentage that they take into account for attendance and participation marks, dependent on what subjects you take.
So what are the 3 main things you liked about University of Toronto?
The location, it's very centrally based. I absolutely love the architecture. You can I always tell people that it's the city within a city.
Yes.
It's very small. It almost has its, like, own population within the greater Toronto. It's, yeah, like, very centrally based. I love that about it. I did commute, so I wasn't living on residence. But even so, I find that, like, most people that I knew commuted, and it's so easy to get to. And also with that, it's you're able to explore a lot of the city and its history. Another thing that I really liked is, the university's ranking was really important to me and my family. Again, like, being an immigrant, you do look at those things, and somebody that has finished the IB program, like, that was something that was really important. I did get accepted into all of the universities that I applied for, but U of T was one that I chose, partially because it was, like, closer to home, and just because it's one of the best universities in the world. And then the other thing that I liked, it's honestly just, like, the prestige of saying I went to U of T and I
Yes.
like, that's, like, sometimes people do really care about that. Oftentimes, like, you don't.
Sure.
I think, like, when you're so far away from, like, when you've already graduated and it's been, like, whatever, like, 5+ years, people generally don't talk about it anymore. But when it does come up in conversation, people are like, oh, that's so cool, like, you went to U of T. And also, it has such a large population that I think that there's something to be said about when you do find out that someone else went to U of T and that they're an alumni as well, there's just this different level of understanding between you.
Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you liked and enjoyed what Milica has shared with us. We will be releasing similar content like this in the coming month. Follow Rainbow Bridge on social media channels. Stay tuned for more. At Rainbow Bridge, your bridge to a rainbow-like future. Thank you so much. See you next time.